So all the IPL teams have now released the players and have retained the players. The full list is out, and we're gonna have a discussion about it. So we'll start with the defending champions, Mumbai Indians. And when you look at their squad, you always feel that they're gonna retain the squad again. They're gonna retain the core again. But this time, surprisingly, they let go of James Pattinson, who I believe put up a decent performance last year. Don't know why they have left him. Malinga, as we all know, the biggest news is that he has retired from franchise cricket, and that's why Mumbai Indians had to release him. So he's gone as well, and Nathan Coulter-Nile, he's also gone. So basically, a whole overseas bowling, fast bowling department is gone, quickly gone. And when we'll now talk about the Hyderabad, and now when you talk about Hyderabad team, you won't see some big names. You would only see, I think, Billy Stanley or Fabian Allen. Not many big names there. And then we come towards the Delhi Capitals. Now the Delhi Capitals have released players like Alex Carey and Sandeep Lamichhane. Now, I believe they could have actually stayed with Sandeep Lamichhane, but it's alright because you didn't found a place in the 11 last year. I think they've also let go of, I believe, they've let go of Jason Roy and Kimo Paul, who hardly found a spot in the playing 11 last season. So yeah, that's the news from Delhi Capitals. I think we've done three so far. We'll move on to KKR. Now KKR again haven't left too many big players. The only two big names, rather you would see in their squad would be Chris Green and Tom Banton, who they have left out. So Tom Banton and Chris Green, just after a small stint at KKR, will now leave from KKR. And I think we've done four now. So we'll move on to RCB. Now RCB had a pretty decent run last year. They finished fourth. They qualified for the playoffs after 4 years. So you would feel that they will retain their core, but they've let go of Aaron Finch. They've let go of Gurkeerat Singh Mann. They've let go of Shivam Dube. They've let go of Moeen Ali. They've let go of Chris Morris. They've let go of Isuru Udana, Umesh Yadav, and all these players. I think Pawan Negi as well. I think this is justified also because Aaron Finch did not have a good season last year. And yeah, I think they can buy another foreign opener or an Indian opener at a cheap price because he was expensive, 5 crores. You could buy a opener cheaper than that, and they also bought Chris Morris for 10 crores. And I think Chris Morris has been the disappointment for RCB because whenever the team needed him, he got injured. But although whenever he played, he put up a decent show. He was a good buy for RCB. But whenever the team needed him, especially in the eliminator game, he was injured. You couldn't use him. So there's no point in keeping an injured player in your squad. So it's justified to let go of him. Moeen Ali put up a decent show in 2018, 2019. He was a consistent performer, but in 2020 he hardly found a place in the 11. So if a player cannot find a space in the 11, you have to let go of him. Justified. Isuru Udana kept leaking runs. You had to let go of him. Umesh Yadav again has had 3 years with the RCB now. Hardly found a space in the 11 last season. Had to let go of him. I'm surprised, although, by letting go of Shivam Dube because you could have invested in him. You've seen him since 2019. I think he's played 2 seasons with RCB, 2019 and 2020. He last season, I think, he helped take pressure off AB de Villiers. We've always seen AB de Villiers hitting huge sixes, and whenever RCB is in trouble, AB de Villiers is the player they look up to. But I think Shivam Dube did a decent job to keep the pressure off AB de Villiers. So I think I'm pretty surprised why they have let go of him, but you also have to take care of the price because he was pretty expensive when they bought him in the 2019 auction. So yeah, maybe because of that price. And Gurkeerat Singh Mann also has been released. So justified. If the players don't perform, if the players are not able to find a spot in the 11, you let go of them. So good decision by the RCB management. And I think we've done five. We now move on to Kings 11 Punjab. So yeah, they've let go of O'Shane Thomas. Sheldon Cottrell. They've let go of Sheldon Cottrell, and they've let go of I think Mujibur Rahman. They've let go of Jimmy Neesham, and the biggest name there is Glenn Maxwell, who had a terrible season last year. I mean, he hardly could hit a six last year. So yeah, But I think other teams would be interested to buy him because after the IPL he put up a great show for the Australian side in the limited overs format, and we know his quality. He may not have performed last year, but we know what his quality is. So I think many teams will be interested in buying him. So yeah, we'll see that in the auction. The next team we're going to talk about is Rajasthan Royals and Chennai Super Kings. So Chennai Super Kings, as you all know, had a terrible season last year, and so did the Rajasthan Royals. Chennai Super Kings finished seventh at the table, and you thought that they're going to leave many players, and so they have done. They've let go of Kedar Jadhav, they've let go of Murli Vijay, Shane Watson, as we all know, has retired already, so he's gone. And Harbhajan Singh and Piyush Chawla are also gone. Suresh Raina has been retained, so the speculations of him being released by the side is now over, is now being put to rest because Suresh Raina has been retained, whereas Harbhajan Singh has been released. And Imran Tahir surprisingly has been retained. I thought even Devin Bravo would be released because he had, he had an injury ravaged season last year. So surprised by those changes, but yeah, they look to find good batsmen in the auction. And now we'll talk about Rajasthan Royals, who I believe have made the biggest change so far because they have released their captain Steve Smith, and I think it's justified because last year he kept making captaincy blunders. He was not in form in his batting, and the downside of having an overseas captain is this, that if the captain is out of form himself, the captain would not drop himself, and a captain being an overseas player occupies a spot for an overseas player. Now if they had an Indian captain, they could have dropped Steve Smith and played another batsman such as David Miller in his place, but now Steve Smith was the captain. Why would he drop himself? So Steve Smith, I think it's justified to let go of him, and I've never been a fan of this overseas captains. So I think Sanju Samson will be now be the new captain, and I think it's a good decision. I believe Tom Curran could have stayed, but all right, Tom Curran, they've let go of him, justified. All right, Oshane Thomas is gone as well, Ankit Rajput is gone, Aniruddha Joshi is gone. So these players are gone, and yeah, so that's all. Now we'll build up to the auction what it brings.